Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great platform that I've been using since 2017. They're one of my go-to exchanges. They make crypto investing easy. You can also buy and sell precious metals and equities on Uphold. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. As with all exchanges, you can buy, sell, trade on them, but I highly recommend you custody your own crypto, not your keys, not your coins. If you'd like to learn more about Uphold, please visit the link in the description. All right, my friends, we got some very interesting news, and it's good for us crypto investors, but it's bad for the SEC because here, being reported by Fox Business, cryptocurrency consumer advocacy group rallies retail investors to push back on SEC crackdown. The Digital Currency Traders Alliance digital campaign is dubbed Stop the SEC. Finally, and we're also going to talk about Coinbase and their initiative, but finally, the industry is going on the offensive. This is what I've been talking about for a while. Many of you who have been subscribers, I've been saying this and even calling out Coinbase. I've been tweeting at Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, to form an alliance, form a coalition to then sue the SEC, to go after them because, divided we fall, united we stand. And if we're able to come together as an industry and push back on the overreach and the draconian rules by Chair Gensler, I think we would make progress, right? It's going to bring a lot of attention and more scrutiny on Gary Gensler and the SEC, but it takes these crypto companies to come together. So let me give you some details here. A small cryptocurrency consumer advocacy group is launching a campaign against the Securities and Commission Exchange and its crackdown on crypto, Fox Business has learned. The Digital Currency Traders Alliance, also known as DCTA, has launched an online advertising campaign calling on retail investors to lobby their congressional representatives to fight back against SEC Chairman Gary Gensler's regulation by enforcement strategy, which the nonprofit group claims is unfairly harming cryptocurrency retail investors. That's absolutely true. I mean, look, I've said it time and time again, the SEC, Gary Gensler, they're not here to protect retail. They're here to uphold the status quo, and that is the incumbents who are being disrupted. And Gary Gensler is a Goldman Sachs guy. He's for the banksters. He's meeting with Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan and all these other folks. We've seen it on his calendar. And of course, he wants to make things as ambiguous as possible so he can go around shaking down companies for millions of dollars and, just add confusion in the market. Just look at what happened last year. He didn't go after Celsius. He didn't go after FTX. He didn't go after Luna. He didn't go after 3 Hours Capital. He didn't go after Voyager, but he went after Kim Kardashian. Thanks, Gary. Kim Kardashian really screwed us over. Yeah, SBF, he's okay. FTX is okay. And FTX and the Sam Bankman-Fried were meeting with Gary and the SEC multiple times. But, that's the game, pay to play, right? And he was going to, I think, give FTX some sort of monopoly license, which would have been pretty bad for the industry. So the campaign, dubbed Stop the SEC, aims to help retail investors demand regulatory clarity from Congress and relief from SEC overreach. Here is a quote. "We created this campaign to connect everyday consumers with their congressional representatives so they can tell them firsthand how the SEC's regulation by enforcement approach to crypto is hurting their investments," DCTA's Deputy Director Kevin Trommer tells Fox Business. The SEC did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Of course they didn't. Now, here's some other big news around Gary, and then we'll talk about the Coinbase news. Eleanor Toretta Fox Business highlighted something very interesting. She said, when Gary Gensler says a handful of crypto security tokens have registered under the existing regime, These are the ones he's referring to. Note the first 5 companies registered as a result of settlements under Jay Clayton, his predecessor. No companies have registered under Gensler. So, Gary's just going around talking these BS talking points, but he doesn't have any facts. He doesn't have any credibility. And it's pretty clear, even when he went on TV just recently to do his victory lap about Kraken and the settlement they had there with Kraken staking, Kraken's Jesse Powell came on Twitter and said, oh, if it was that easy, what Gary's saying, to just come fill out a form on the website, we would have done that to avoid a $30 million fine, right? But once again, Gary's full of shit. So here you just see who's has, just 5 companies registered and none have willingly come in. And that they are going to go in and give information because they know they're going to get stabbed in the back by Gary. He's just there taking notes to see how he can shake you down and take money from you. It's not in good faith, right? He's like, come on in, don't worry, we're friends. And then all of a sudden he throws you down the well, right? Throws you down the hill. There's also some interesting statements here, and this is actually being sparked by Stuart Alderati of Ripple, the general counsel of Ripple. He said, crypto lawyer PSA, Chair Gensler has again proclaimed that every cryptocurrency except Bitcoin is an unregistered security. He now must recuse himself from voting on any enforcement case that raises that issue since he has prejudged the outcome. And he references a trial of Antonio or Antonii, my goodness, I can't pronounce that, versus the SEC, the 8th Circuit, 1989. So shout out to Stuart for pulling this one here, this bit of information. And I absolutely agree. If this man's going around saying everything's a security except Bitcoin, everything, then you're not using, as the SEC would like to say, facts and circumstances. They're not looking at the individual facts. They're just saying blanket statement. That is asinine. Clear as day what his agenda is, right? This is why we have to fight, my friends. This is why you got to call your representatives to get this clown out of the SEC and get him impeached. That's how he has to be kicked out or he resigns. But we got to put the pressure on there. So this is actually very interesting, guys. And let me give you some details. In the Antonio, or whatever it is, I apologize, I'm butchering it. The plaintiff claimed that the commissioner's participation in disbarment proceedings impermissibly tainted the proceedings with the appearance of impropriety, and the court agreed, holding that the statements demonstrated that the commissioner in some measure adjudged the facts as well as the law of a particular case in advance of hearing it. And that is what Gary's doing. He's going around saying everything's a security once again, and except Bitcoin. The court further stated that accordingly, we nullify all commission proceedings in which Commissioner Cox participated occurring after Commissioner Cox's speech was given, and remand the case to the commission with the directions to make a de novo review of the evidence without any participation by Commissioner Cox. If this precedent were to apply to Gensler's speech, he may be prohibited from participating in future securities cases brought against digital asset firms. This is interesting. I hope every crypto project in the industry, it has this in their back pocket, and especially Ripple, maybe the folks at Library, since that's still ongoing. I hope they're able to use this because this is pretty clear. Gensler has already prejudged everything. So I think this is kind of like a gotcha here. Gary burying his own grave here, so to speak. So let's see where this goes. I hope this has legs and crypto companies and projects in the industry use this. Now, here's some other great news. And that, on the theme of going on the offensive, Coinbase, they tweeted out, it's time to advance pro-crypto policy in all 435 congressional districts across the U.S. Introducing Crypto 435, our campaign to grow the crypto advocacy community and share tools and resources to make your voice heard. And it says, become an advocate today. And it points to a form that you can fill out. And the headline here is, take action, learn how your voice can impact pro-crypto policy. And it says, if you love crypto and believe in the potential of Web3, it's more important than ever to advocate for pro-crypto policy in the US. This is great. Many of you know I've been tweeting at Brian Armstrong, as I mentioned earlier, calling for a coalition for these companies to go on the offensive. The only issue is, if it's Coinbase kind of doing their own thing, I don't think that's great. I think they need to form, a whole bunch of folks in a community. But let me give you some more details here. I'll jump ahead. The crypto community has reached an important moment. Decisions being made by legislators and regulators in DC and around the country will impact the future of how we can build, buy, sell, and use crypto. We need thoughtful policymaking and smart regulations so that we can continue to advance crypto and Web3 and make progress on our mission to increase economic freedom. Coinbase will empower the Crypto 435 community with information about how to contact specific politicians in their local districts. What these politicians' records on crypto are, tips for making your voices heard in DC, and more. So if you love crypto and want to see all that it can achieve, join us to shape policies and regulations that will impact crypto and Web3 for the years to come. Guys, this is great to see. Shout out to Coinbase and Brian Armstrong and these folks. This is what we need. This is what, once again, I've been talking about for a long time. Go on the offensive. And the next step they should do is form a coalition and sue the hell out of the SEC. Grayscale is suing the SEC right now. And I think if you have a lot more of companies doing this, they pool their legal resources, their financial resources, so it's not a burden on one company. They can make a lot of noise, guys, because you just, once again, more heads coming together here, and you have a crowdsource effort. It's going to have carry a lot of weight, versus one company doing it. And if any of these companies get attacked by the SEC per se, then they can pool their resources to help fight back. And I think that's the way to do it, because Gary, he's the gloves are off with Gary. He's trying anything and everything to put every crypto service and asset under the securities umbrella. So it's really, really good to see this. And I hope it continues, and I hope more folks participate. Now, David Marcus, who was, of course, at Meta, he was, if you all remember, leading the initiative to build their respective digital currency, which, it's dead right now because the government tried to shut it down. It would obviously compete with CBDCs and so forth. They were very afraid of that. David Marcus was also at PayPal. Right now, he's running his own crypto startup. He tweeted out a article from Politico, and the title is "Europe Entices Crypto Firms Burned by US." And David said, "As a country, we will come to regret not regulating crypto with clarity to incentivize the right kind of builders to innovate here while deterring bad actors and protecting consumers. This is a global race. We're not on a path to win." He's absolutely right. It's not, too late where the door is completely shut, but the door is, it's getting there. And I hope the United States gets this right, man, because a lot of companies are going to leave, guys. And look, my interview with Commissioner Hester Peirce is going to be published tomorrow. We talked about this. And it's really sucks. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs and innovators who are waiting for that clarity, and they're just in limbo. And David Marcus being an innovator and entrepreneur himself. So it really sucks. However, what we're seeing is many of these big institutions, like your BlackRocks, your Goldman Sachs, and so forth, they continue to work and build despite this, because they know what's coming. And this kind of aligns with my theory of Gary Gensler just trying to slow things down for the incumbents to catch up. And here's a headline: Goldman Sachs still hugely supportive of exploring blockchain applications. Matthew McDermott expects Goldman's digital assets platform to be used for more services than just tokenized bonds. So tokenization on the blockchain and the use of different digital assets is on the rise, guys. And these big players they want to get involved here. So Dermot, who was appointed to lead the digital assets team in 2020, only had a team of 4 when he started. Less than 3 years later, its strength now stands at 70, and he intends to add more. The team will take more members as appropriate this year, Bloomberg reported him as saying. Without elaborating further on details, Goldman didn't return a request for comment at press time. Dermot's comments were reportedly made in Hong Kong, which issued its first tokenized green bond worth $100 million using Goldman Sachs protocol called GSDAP, Digital Assets Platform. The DAP is built on a private permissioned blockchain, not a public blockchain. McDermott doesn't expect public blockchains to be used to port major financial transactions just yet, owing to safety and regulatory concerns. So the last item there, right? Regulatory concerns. So because they don't have the regulatory clarity, especially here in the United States, they're not going to mess with certain public blockchains like your Ethereum or Algorand or XRP Ledger, whatever it is, right? Because it's too much of a risk. What if one of those blockchains get hit with a lawsuit? The foundations get hit with a lawsuit from the SEC. It just throws everything on. Throws everything off. So we're really in a limbo here. Many of these companies want to build, many of them want to, do things, but they can't do go to the full extent of what they're looking to achieve. And this once again falls back on Congress, and you have this clown Gary Gensler going around just trying to shake down companies. Now, some interesting news from the HBAR Foundation. Many of you know I hold HBAR in my portfolio. I am bullish on it long term. Well, they have added Brian Brooks, who is, of course, former acting controller of the OCC, and he was former Coinbase CLO, and he has joined the HBAR Foundation board. This is a great pickup for them. I love Brian. He's just a smart guy. He understands his technology, and obviously this man, he green lighted the banks while he was at the OCC to be able to hold crypto, which was just huge news. I remember printing out the tweet and framing it. It was just massive. But we see now there's a lot of fight to undo a lot of his work. And we are definitely in that then they fight you phase. Now, I also own Chainlink. I hold that in my portfolio. Very bullish on Chainlink. One of those projects that I absolutely think will do well because there's so many blockchains tapping into Chainlink's oracles and solutions. So it's solving problems for other blockchains. And here, Chainlink's new platform lets Web3 projects connect to Web2 systems like Amazon Web Service and Meta. So, clearly solving a problem there, right? Helping the old world to connect to the new. The new platform, Chainlink Functions, also lets builders run customizable computation on Web2 APIs within minutes through its network. Kemal El Mujahideen, is that right? Chief Product Officer at Chainlink Labs told TechCrunch. Here's a quote. Our goal is to enable developers to combine the best of Web3 smart contracts with the power of Web 2.0 APIs, El Mujahid said. What this creates is a massive opportunity to build apps that combine the best of smart contracts and Web 2.0. Chainlink is known for its Ethereum-focused protocol that provides an Oracle network to power smart contracts. Basically, it connects on-chain data with external systems to enable smart contracts to execute transactions based on real-world inputs and outputs. The platform has enabled more than $7 trillion in transaction value since mid-February, according to its website. Guys, I am very, very bullish on Chainlink. Some more details here. Chainlink Functions hopes to be the bridge between the two parties to create mass adoption. Web3 is not going to be a binary thing. I've seen this in AI. He said the path to mass adoption was making it easy to embed AI into your apps. It's the same with Web3. You don't have to build your entire app on chain. It's going to be a spectrum, part smart contract, part Web 2.0 APIs. Absolutely right. You're going to see some hybrid integrations and platforms and apps and so forth. And it has to be to a place where, the average Joe and Jane, they don't know they're using the blockchain technology, the NFT tokenization, whatever it is, smart contracts, but it's there running behind the platforms that they use, the apps that they use. And that's going to be beneficial for the blockchains that get the adoption. I've often talked about Metcalfe's law and network adoption, right? It's not always, okay, is the token itself being used? Yes, the token will be used in certain instances, moving value and so forth, but the token greases the blockchain, allows it to move and function. And the more building, the more transactions and so forth on said blockchain, then the more valuable the blockchain becomes and the more valuable its token becomes. I think a great example of this is Ethereum. And it goes back to ICOs and crypto kitties and now NFTs and DeFi and so forth. Ethereum benefited significantly from that. And Chainlink also, it looks like they're doing something cool with True USD, which is the first USD backed stablecoin to secure minting with, let me give you the details here, with proof of reserves. So, after all the questions and collapses and issues, you look at Terra Luna, you look at some of the issues around Tether, let's say, that have been talked about for years, and the worry about are these stable coins back? I think we're going to start seeing better versions of stable coins, and those that meet the right standards, where of the proof of reserves and the backing and so forth. So True USD has integrated Chainlink proof of reserve directly into its minting function for TUSD, an industry first for US collateralized stablecoins. So I personally don't use True USD, but the two takeaways here: Chainlink continues to provide great solutions, fixing and solving problems. So I'm bullish on Link. And two, this is a great step forward for the future of stablecoins. Proof of reserves, very, very important. We don't want scams. We don't want further collapses, and we have to mature. We have to have better technology, and we'll get there. It's going to take time. There'll be a lot of iterations, a lot of testing, trial and error, and so forth. But you're seeing in the wake of what happened last year and the previous years, things are going to a higher plateau and a higher standard, for these stable coins, digital assets, exchanges, and so forth. It's all great. Now, Polygon, I'm bullish on Polygon. The native token is Matic. They've been getting huge partnerships. And here, Ryan Wyatt, who is the president of Polygon Labs, he tweeted out an article highlighting that Bank of America, they love Starbucks' Odyssey program, and which runs on Polygon, of course. And here's a quote: "Starbucks can also generate incremental revenue in perpetuity from royalty streams linked to secondary sales," the firm said, citing Nike as an example. Nike is also on Polygon. So I'm bullish on Chainlink. I'm bullish on Matic, guys. So just being transparent, what I hold and what I'm looking to do. And I can't wait for Starbucks' Odyssey to go fully live. I think it's going to happen in April. It's going to be pretty amazing. And they got a huge customer base, and it's global, and they're going to get people on board with Web3. And once again, those people don't need to know which blockchain and how it works, but just that it's there, and they can use the NFTs and whatever else, the tokenization that's happening on the blockchain and the record keeping and so forth. They just need to know that it works. And this is the future, guys. It's I know many of us, we're like neck deep in crypto, and we know about this wallet and that and this and that. Look, like I said, the next 1 billion people who are going to be adopting this technology, they don't really care, right? Many are not going to care. You and I care because we understand, we're invested in it and so forth. But we need this to have real world application to see further price increase and growth and so forth. So this is what you want to see if you're holding the respective tokens. So anyway, guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below, and I'll talk to you all later.